Hey guys, Couch Potato Mike here, and we're about to start a new journey. So come with me over the next few weeks as we plan out your Walt Disney World trip. The first thing you need to ask yourself is the first thing that I asked myself, and in my opinion, is when should I go? Now, this particular portion of this video is going to be designed for people who have a much more flexible schedule. Um, because at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to whatever your personal schedule it is. So take everything I say with a grain of salt here. Now we're going to go at this month by month, and let's start with January. Now 2022, which is when this video is being recorded, has been weird. So I'm going to go with what traditionally happens in January. Now, traditionally, first couple of days of the year are going to be very, very busy. See, the reason for that being is a lot of people have shown up at the park for the Christmas celebrations and all the Christmas oriented things that are happening there, and that carries through the new year. So January 1st and 2nd are going to be very busy. Now it does start to slack down during parts of the month. Now you've got a couple of weird things like got a couple of weird things like Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, things of that nature. But traditionally, this month has been pretty slow as far as crowd sizes go. So it might be a good time to go. Now, in 2022, though, it was weird. January, the entire month, was very, very, very busy. And that actually continued on through February and March. Now, traditionally, crowd sizes are always going to be slower when school's in session. This year, though, everybody had been trapped in their houses for the last 2 years. And as the world is coming to a state of being where the vast majority of people are vaccinated and everything's opening back up, a lot of people took the revenge vacation. That basically means they've waited long enough. This year, they're taking the world back, and the crowds were record-breaking for the month of January. Now, traditionally, though, like I said, crowds for most of January are smaller. Now, you also got to keep in mind there's a trade-off there. The water-related rides, which at the time of this recording would be Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom and Kali River Rapids in the Animal Kingdom, they both go down for refurbishments, maintenance, stuff like that during January because it's a colder month. The cooler climates are also a factor. So if you can go in January, traditionally I would say yes, but like I said, this past year, that rule kind of went out the window. Who knows what 2023 is going to bring? And that brings us right on into February. February is usually one of the slowest months of the year for them. Crowd sizes usually stay pretty dang low because school is back in session. There's not that many breaks in February. This year, like I said a minute ago, was very, very busy. So who knows? But traditionally, it's a slower month. But you still have that the ride refurbishments on any of the water rides. Now, moving into March, you got spring breaks. That's when spring break happens. Now, take it from somebody who has been to Disney World during spring break. If you don't like crowds, you will not like spring break week. It is very, very busy. All the crowds, all the popular rides are going to have lines that are over an hour long. So, with the exception of that spring break week, though, that month you have light to moderate crowds, so it might be a good time to go. This year, however, it was just busy the whole time. It's been busy this whole year. Now, that moves us into April. School's still in session, slower crowds. Basically, those winter months, moving into some of the spring, while school is still in session, have usually been the better times to go to keep lower crowds. Now, moving right into summer, we also move right into hurricane season. The months of May. Usually, school's still in session. That's also when a lot of testing happens. Families can't usually get away. So the first parts of May, you're going to see lower crowds. Into May, guess what? School's getting out for the summer, and that's when the busy season starts. Into May, moving right into June, July, August. Those are going to be bad for crowds. Going to have massive crowds. School's out. Now, on top of just the crowd sizes, you've also got average daily highs of 90 to 92 degrees, depending on the month. And that's a very hot temperature in a very humid state to be standing in very long lines with very big crowds. So you might want to keep that in mind while also planning. Also, this officially starts the beginning of Central Florida's hurricane season. Well, Florida in general's hurricane season. Awesome thing about Disney World is it's in Orlando. So you got hurricanes that rarely ever make it all the way inland. They'll get some rain from it. And that's what's going to affect you. Usually in the summertime, you can expect a 30 to 1 hour long rainstorm, sometimes with lightning, almost every afternoon. It's not guaranteed for every afternoon, but about mid-afternoon, you're going to see rain coming in. And that can put a damper on a few things. And traditionally throughout it's usually about all it is. 4 or 5 times during the course of Disney World's history, they have had to actually close for, they've had to shut down the parks and everything for hurricane. It's usually only for one day, and the next day they're open. They come through. They have teams that do all this wonderful, well-trained maintenance on stuff. You'll go on a Monday. Tuesday they're closed for hurricane. Wednesday you go back in. Doesn't look like anything ever happened. You might notice a tree that wasn't there before, or a different tree in the same spot, stuff like that. They know how to handle that stuff. But you're going to be dealing with that all summer. Into the fall. Moving into September. That is right up until September, busy. September, traditionally, slowest month of the year. Lowest crowd levels. Kids are back in school. And you're still in hurricane season. That's usually the height of hurricane season, too. That's when you're going to see the most rain. Now, October used to be Disney World's best kept secret. It would have light to moderate crowds, and it still traditionally has had light to moderate crowds, but it's also the heart. That first week of October is going to be important. It's going to be the slowest week of the year. Of the month. Next week, fall break starts, especially for the UK, and you see a lot of people start heading down there. That also moves us right into Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party time. The parks are going to be decked out for Halloween, and a lot of people are going to be showing up, especially the last half of the month, to see that. So you're going to start with moderate crowds, and then they're just going to get progressively heavier out there. Now, that moves us right past October into November, December, and November, the first part of the month, is usually a bit slower, but once you get to that week before Thanksgiving, oh, holy hell, crowds are going to start spiking, and you're going to hit the busiest crowds of the flippin' year, and that will carry right on through December. The closer you get to Christmas, the worse it's going to get. And you might be saying to yourself, well, Couch Potato Mike, what about Christmas Day? Parks are open on Christmas Day. Yeah, but most people are going to be staying home with their families and celebrating at home. Well, I'm sorry that you're that naive, because so many people do stay home, but so many people go to Walt Disney World on Christmas. That's like the single busiest day of the year usually is Christmas Day. And that will carry right on through the rest of the year, right into New Year's, and here we are back where you started. So take what I just said with a grain of salt. That's pretty much how it's going to lay out. If you don't mind the rain and having to pack a raincoat, go in September. We've yet to hit September of this year, so we'll see how that goes when we get there. The next thing you're going to want to ask yourself after you've figured out which month you're going is, which parks are you going to? And on what days should you visit those parks? Now, Walt Disney World hosts 4 different theme parks. being the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom. Now, these parks are all very, very different, have completely different experiences, and have different days in which they are busy and slow. Now, some things can be said that are commonly true for all of them. Monday, there's not a good park day for a Monday for low crowds. Now, I'm aiming everything toward lower crowds here. All of the parks are going to be pretty busy on Mondays. That's just the nature of the beast. And actually, Monday with Magic Kingdom is the busiest day of the week for them. Now, let's just go ahead and start with the Magic Kingdom. It's the park that everybody thinks of when they think of Walt Disney World. Cinderella Castle. That's what most people think of when they think of Disney World immediately. Cinderella Castle. It is where Fantasyland and the Land of Tomorrow and Adventureland and Frontierland and all of that sort of thing. That's where all that stuff is. And it's the single most visited theme or amusement park in the world. Period. More people go to that than any other park and a lot of other parks combined. So, this one, the least busy day, the best day to visit a Magic Kingdom on would be Tuesday. Tuesday, followed immediately by Thursdays. Now, you're going to see the lowest attendance there. Now, it basically goes Tuesday, Thursday, gets busier Wednesday, gets busier Sunday, gets even busier Friday, Saturday, and then please stay out of there on Mondays. It's going to be the busiest day in the busiest park in the world. I'm not saying you can't go there on Monday. I may have been there on Monday. There's no such thing as a bad day to be in Disney World when it really comes down to it. But Mondays are going to have the busiest days of the week. It's going to be its busiest day of the week, dropping right to Tuesday, its least busy day of the week. We're moving right into Epcot. Epcot was the second park opened at Walt Disney World. And when people think of Epcot, they usually think of the ride Spaceship Earth, or as most people know it, the giant golf ball. Now, the best days to visit Epcot are typically flying right in the face of what I just told you before. I'm like, when I said Monday's always busy. Well, Monday and Wednesday are actually the best days for Epcot. You're going to see the lowest amount of crowds. Epcot likes to throw a few extra little things at you, though. They are the home of 3 of the biggest festivals. They're actually the home of pretty much the only festivals you'll see at Disney World each year, which are the Festival of Arts, the Flower and Garden Festival, and the Food and Wine Festival. Most people go to Epcot for these festivals. During festival times, you're going to want to avoid Epcot on Saturdays and Sundays. That's going to be their busiest days of the week. Saturdays and Sundays traditionally are the busiest day of the week at virtually all of the Walt Disney World resort hotels. Not the hotels, not the resorts, the parks. That's a completely different video. We'll get into those later, trust me. But you're going to want to avoid Saturday and Sunday during the festival times, which at this point, as of 2022, it seems like they're trying to extend the festivals all year, so that might not even be a thing. At this point, it just might be one festival right after the other. That's the way it's been this year so far. But you're going to want to avoid Saturday and Sundays. Like I said, Monday and Wednesday, those are the best 2 days of the week. Everything after that I didn't mention, kind of average. Moving right into Hollywood Studios, formerly Disney's MGM Studios theme park in Orlando, Florida. Disney's Hollywood Studios, its busiest days of the week are weird. They're Friday and then Sunday, not Saturday. If you're going to visit on a weekend, go on Saturday, because you're going to want to avoid Friday and Sunday. The reason I say this is because that's when the Disney resorts, they host their extra magic hours. Now, each of the parks get extra magic hours, I believe, at one point or another. Now, extra magic hours are funny. If you're staying in a Disney Resort hotel, you get to go into any of the parks a half hour before the general population. But on certain nights of the week, the extra magic hours is basically you get to go and stay in the park for an extra 1 to 2 hours after the park is officially closed for the rest of the public. Now, Friday and Saturday is that's Hollywood Studios Day, so you're going to want to I'm sorry, Friday and Sunday, that's Hollywood Studios Days. So those are usually the busier days in the park. Now, this park is busy pretty regularly, though. It doesn't have a lot of rides, but the rides that it has are all very, very popular rides. You got Twilight Zone's Tower of Terror. You've got Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith, which is the only roller coaster on Disney World property that has inversions. You go upside down 3 times. You also have Galaxy's Edge, aka Star Wars Land, that just opened up with the most popular ride in the parks, Rise of the Resistance. You've got Slinky Dog Dash, the most popular family coaster in the parks. You've got a lot of heavy hitter attractions here and not much else. I mean, you got shows and stuff, but a lot of people don't like to go to shows. So it's a busy park, and it's a hard park to navigate. So it stays pretty busy round the clock. But if you want to know the slowest days, the best days to visit, those would probably be Tuesdays and Thursdays, just like with Magic Kingdom. Tuesday and Thursday is a good rule of thumb for the busier parks. This brings us right into Animal Kingdom, which is the newest park at Walt Disney World. Now, getting right back onto what the busiest days would be, at Animal Kingdom, those tend to usually be Saturdays and Mondays, as that's when they get their extra magic hours. Now, the funny thing about Animal Kingdom is it is the best park to go to on the weekends because it usually has slower times. Fridays and Sundays are a much slower pace. You got a lot less crowds in Animal Kingdom, and Animal Kingdom in general has a much more laid back environment to it. Like Hollywood Studio, it doesn't have a lot of rides or attractions, but Hollywood Studio has most of those heavy hitters. Now, Animal Kingdom, it's interesting. It's a very unique park. It's technically the largest theme park in the world as far as land size goes. But that's because it has the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, which most people just know as the ride Kilimanjaro Safaris. It's a truck ride where you get on this big truck and it takes you out into a preservation of the African savanna. You get to see so many different animals. You get to see giraffes, you get to see lions, rhinos, hippos, all sorts of African wildlife. It's amazing. Best time to go there is in the morning, but we'll get into that on a different video. Now, like I said, Saturdays and Mondays are when they get their extra magic hours. Fridays and Sundays are a great time to visit there. But any time in the day in the middle of the week, also great, because that's the part that gets the lowest amount of crowds. Now that I've said all of this, I just want to let you guys know that Disney is they've got teams of people that are trying to figure out how to eliminate downtime period. They want their parks busy year-round. And looking at January and February and March of this year, it's starting to work. Hopefully that's just a fluke. So this has been the best times to actually visit as far as days of the week for parks and and months of the year. So now keep in mind, this is all just my advice. This isn't the gospel, so to speak. So at the end of the day, it's all going to come down to whatever's going to work best for you. In the past, you used to be able to just walk right up to the gates of the park, right up to those ticket centers and buy your tickets, and you can actually still do that. But good luck getting into the park that day. See, you have to have park pass reservations these days, so it's always better to buy your tickets in advance. Now, where you buy your tickets in advance, that is completely up to you, but I'm going to list off a few of the best places to do that. Now, you can't really go wrong on Disney's official website, which is disneyworld.disney.go.com. There's banners right across the top that'll take you to where you buy the tickets. It's definitely the safest place to buy your tickets in advance. That's probably the best place when it really boils down to it. But there are a few other trusted places online where you can buy tickets early. Now, you're going to find a million places online to buy tickets. That's the reason I included the word trusted. You want to go to certain sites that are trusted, because there's a million places that'll claim they're selling you tickets, and they'll be happy to take your money and not give you diddly squat. So here is just a short list of the safer places to buy your tickets. There's undercovertourist.com. Now, this comes highly recommended from many Disney World bloggers and vloggers, and it's just a trusted source to go. And it's a good place to get discounted tickets. Now, take the word discounted tickets with a grain of salt. You're not going to get much discount on a lot of these things. At most, you can get anywhere from $2 to $20, $25 maybe. So you're not going to be saving a lot. That's why I recommend just going straight through Disney's website. Because at the end of the day, it's a matter of a few dollars on a vacation that's going to cost you thousands. Guaranteed thousands. Another place to get it, comes very highly recommended, is Getaway Today. Now, if memory serves me, they are not just a ticket seller, but a whole travel agency kind of deal. They'll help you get your park pass reservations and things like that. They'll help you do the whole thing. And as far as discounts on tickets, it's pretty much going to be comparable to the one I listed before. There's also citypass.com/Orlando. I don't know too much about it. It's just one of the ones that came up as a trusted site from multiple sources that I looked. You also have DVCrentalstore.com. Now, DVC stands for Disney Vacation Club, and that's Disney's official timeshare service, where you can you pay a yearly membership and you get points for staying at certain Disney Vacation Club resort hotels. You get points that you can use toward tickets. And a lot of these people that have these points just can't make it to Disney World. So that's why they have DVCrentalstore.com. You can go on there and you can basically rent other people's points. You can buy these rental points from other people, and that gets you your park tickets. It pays for, I don't know if they do dining or not, but it pays for the resorts, stuff like that. And I used them myself when planning my last vacation, and I think it saved me $5 off the total. I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, $5 is $5, but at the end of the day, like I said, when you're spending multiple thousands of dollars to do your dream vacation, $5 really isn't jack. In addition to your park ticket, there are a few add-ons that you can do, such as your park hopper option, which is right there. So I'm going to stop pointing. You can read. You have your park hopper option, which basically means that at 2 o'clock, you can jump into another park. You can hop into another park. So you start your day in the Magic Kingdom. Well, when it starts getting close to 2 o'clock, you can leave that park and go to, like, say, Epcot. And at 2 o'clock, or pro tip, 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, you can then enter Epcot and get in line for Spaceship Earth or Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, any of that sort of thing. Do 2 parks in one day. Now, keep in mind, to do that is going to basically be about $65 more per ticket per day for any day that you want to do the park hopper option. Now, you also have the water park and sports option, which means that when you, on each day of your trip, you can, as well as go to a park, you can go to a water park or go play golf at one of their golf courses. They even have miniature golf. Now, that is going to be an additional $70 per ticket per day. Now, there's also the best of both worlds option, the Park Hopper Plus, which means you get both column A and column B of what I just listed. After 2 o'clock, you can go to a different park, subject to park availability. Because if that second park that you go to has hit capacity, they're not going to let you in. Now, keep in mind, one thing I forgot to mention, you have to have a park pass reservation for the first For the first park that you enter, vis-a-vis like Magic Kingdom, you start your day in Magic Kingdom, you have to have a park pass reservation to get in there. You don't have to have a park pass reservation for the second park, but like I said, it's subject to park capacity. Now you get to hop, and you also get to go to water parks. You get to go play golf. You get to go do all that great sports stuff. Now that, if you want that, is going to be an additional $85 per ticket per day. And you got to be asking yourself at this point, Couch Potato Mike, you're telling me how much extra these are going to cost? How much are the tickets? Now, the base price of one ticket to go to one park on one day at current rate, subject to change at any given time that Disney feels like it, is $109 for a one-day ticket with no frills, no extra add-ons, no Genie Plus, which we'll talk about in a different video, none of the park hopper, none of the water parks, none of the sports. It's just $109 for that ticket that'll get you into that park, subject to availability. Now that's on the slowest days of the year. That is how much it would probably cost on a weekday in September. That'll change from day to day. Not just from month to month, not just from week to week, from day to day. I mean, because you could be paying on a busier day $50 more. Like if you want to go on Christmas Day, you're looking at $159 right now. That could change. One thing you always got to keep in mind when planning your Disney World trip is whatever you've budgeted, whatever you think it's going to cost, I would recommend adding $200 to $500 more onto that, because Disney is notorious about changing their prices. And guess what? When they change their prices, they are never decreasing them. A price change is going to be a price increase. They recently, just a couple of months ago, did hundreds of price increases across the parks. Now keep in mind, this is adding like 50 cents to $1 onto like every menu item or every souvenir that you'll find in the gift shops. And that also included the ticket prices, all the add-ons, all that good stuff. That all went up. So you're looking at $109 to $159 with tax and fees per ticket per day, depending on what day of the year you're wanting to go. Couch Potato Mike, who goes to Disney World for one day? Well, the truth is, not very many people. I mean, sometimes all you got is one day. But the vast majority of people will be going for multiple days. Now, that will affect your ticket prices in a very good way. As you can see behind me here, for one day is $109. Like I said, base price. Keep in mind, these prices are subject to change due to availability and the time of the year. Now, when you see you buy two tickets, you're going to go to the park 2 days. That drops from $109 per ticket to $107, from $106 down to 3 days. And it kind of stays there for 3 and 4 days. Those are all going to be $106 per ticket. But then you got a pretty nice drop, a $15 drop on day 5, which is $91. Day 6, $78, also nice. 7 days, $69, giggity. 8 days, $64. 9 days, $59. 10 days. If you're going to be at the park for 10 days, God bless you. That is an endurance test. That is $55 per ticket per day, which, I mean, if you compare 10 days at the parks to 1 day at the park, that is basically, you're getting 2 tickets for the price of 1 at that point, plus $1, which reminds me of an old commercial. Never mind. But that is a great deal. That is a great deal for buying tickets. But hardly anybody's going to get that 10-day perk. And keep in mind, the longer you're there, the longer Disney has you in its bubble. They can afford to give you those cheaper ticket prices because they're wanting you to spend more money in the park, because nobody goes there and doesn't eat or leaves without a souvenir or any of that good stuff. But there you go. Now, keep in mind, all of these prices could go up by like $50 depending on the time of the year and all that stuff. But they are usually pretty good about the multi-day tickets. So that is going to do it for this video. Tune in next time when I'll be talking to you about Disney Genie, Disney Genie Plus, and the Lightning Lane situation. It's a complicated series that I'm going to make very, very easy for you, or at least I'm going to try to. So until next time, this is Couch Potato Mike. Just letting you know that when you wish upon a star, it makes no difference who you are. Any trip your heart desires can come to you. See you next time.